All right. Hey, Shalom. Hey, first and foremost, I want to give all praise, all honor, all glory to Yahweh,
YAHAWAH,
Yahushua, Bashim,
rawchaa,
qadash.
qadash.
Hey, double honors to the apostles and others of great millstone for teaching us this truth according to the Bible through the spirit and power of YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI, and the sincere peace and salutation to all you hopefully let I get him out there pushing his word in all truth and sincerity, doing the work as YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI has created us to do, so he can wake up and seal the elect of the nation of Israel, which consists of you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and you Israelites who are scattered amongst the heathen nations that may look like the heathen nations, but your father's seed line goes back to you being a so-called black, Hispanic, and Native American, one of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. And Shalom. It's your brothers from the GMS Denver camp coming back once again through the spirit and power of YAHAWASHI YAHAWASHI with another video. And this time, man, we want to go into the beginning of sorrows because this is the time that we're in. You know, because we have a whole lot of things going on pertaining to the time, the signs YAHAWASHI told us to look for of what will be happening in the earth, you know, and it's happening, man. The signs are here in our face, you know. So we're going to start right here in Matthew 24, verse 3.
Right, the book of Matthew, chapter 24, and verse 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world?
So the apostles were the disciples, you see, they were asking, what? When are you coming back? What signs can we look for to know what's going to notify us of your second coming? You see, and this is something all the prophets wanted to know, man. You see, as Israelites, this is something that all of our ancestors wanted to know. Because with the second coming of YAHAWASHI, what does that mean? And that means victory over the enemy. That means being taken from the hands of our enemies, being taken from oppression. You see, being led into the kingdom where indwell of righteousness. That's what YAHAWASHI's second coming means for those who believe, man. You see, and our people are tired of being oppressed. They're tired of being on the bottom. They're tired of the heathen ruling over us. You see, we're tired of that madness, man. We want to be up under the blessings and the promises the Most High has made. You see, there you go. So that's why we're looking so diligently for the second coming of our Lord, man. This is why we're hastening his coming. You see? Now, when you go into this word world, they're asking when the end of the world goes, when is the end of the world? That word world goes into what? Aeon, meaning an age. And the age that we're living in is the age of the Edomite. You see? And it's been this way ever since what? The Renaissance, man. You see? They were living in the age of the Edomite during what? The time of the Romans. The Romans fell. Jake came up, the Dark Ages, the Byzantine Empire, then we fell. And the Roman Empire was revived during the time of the Renaissance, man. And we've been in the age of the Edomite ever since. Now we're looking for what? This man to go down. For this beast structure, this beast system that Esau heads to be demolished, man. You see? And YAHAWASHI gave us signs to look for to let us know where we will be in prophecy before he came. You got it, bro.
Right? Matthew 24, verse 4. And YAHAWASHI answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am the anointed, and shall deceive many.
That happened during the time of YAHAWASHI. See? And that's happening again now, man. You have men raising up as if they're the leaders of Israel, as if they are the anointed, man. You had this dude, the so-called God sent comforter, who the Most High took back to the spirit world a couple years ago, proclaiming that he was the Messiah, man. Proclaiming that he was the anointed, and he wasn't. You see, he didn't come to save anyone. He didn't deliver our people out of the condition that we're in. You had these Christian pastors and these Christian church leaders proclaiming that they're the anointed, man. That they're going to lead you to the promised land or to prosperity as they teach. See, we're not to be deceived by that as believers in YAHAWASHI, man, because we know what he's coming to do according to the Most High's will, man. We know what the Most High is about to do for the Israelites, man. And it doesn't pertain to anything being established for the Israelites in Babylon the Great. You see? We're going to be set up in our own land as the Most High has promised. We're going to be made perfect, man. Be brought up in the second covenant. These are all things the Most High has to do for the Israelites through YAHAWASHI. So don't let nobody fool you to tell you, this is going to happen or this is going to happen. If it doesn't match up to prophecy, man, if it doesn't match up to what YAHAWASHI has said, you don't take heed to that shit, man.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, you know,
And I was just gonna, oh, Salak. Go ahead, brother. What were you saying?
Ain't gonna be cool, man. When YAHAWASHI come in, you gotta understand. You know, us Israelites, man, we like to be flashy, man. You see? And we get that spirit from our Heavenly Father. So how much more the only begotten Son, the first thing the Most High created was YAHAWASHI. How much, he gonna come back. He gonna come back on a large scale, man, in a spectacular fashion. If they ain't coming that way, out of the heavens on chariots, you know what I'm saying, with all power in heaven and earth. Look, man. You see, if they ain't coming that way, they're not the anointed, man. You see? YAHAWASHI comes back in a fashion the world has never seen before. You got it, bro.
No, I was just gonna touch on how you were talking about how the Edomites in the Renaissance. Before that, they had an empire, but 1,000 years in between that was the Dark Ages, and you had Israelites ruling Rome, which it was called the Byzantine Empire, and it was set up the capital Constantinople, which was Constantine. And Constantine was an Israelite that ruled Rome as an emperor. Yep. And there was 5 good, they called them the 5 good emperors, which were Israelites that ruled during the Dark Ages. Yep. And they say it's dark because they're acting like there's no knowledge or no advancement. But in fact, it was because there was dark-skinned people ruling for 1,000 years. And they're founded in May 11th, 330 AD. It was sooner than that. It was actually more like, I believe, like 90 AD. And then it was dissolved, it says, by the 1453, which in Russia, you had Jake ruling there in the 1800s. You had Jake here in America actually in slavery, but you actually had Jake on the throne in Russia. That's why you get the Khazars that were out there in Russia, Turkey. They have a show when they actually took over that land of Russia, and they just pretty much killed Jake or enslaved him, and just pretty much put their belongings on. And when you go into, you could look up King James I, and go into Queen Elizabeth. You could see King James as a so-called black man, and the successor of him is a so-called white woman.
You had his son that came up too. They called him Black Boy.
Right. And you also had you had Queen Elizabeth and Charles I, which Charles, that's where they get Prince Charles, and he was an Edomite. That's when Esau in the Renaissance took over the empires that Jake was ruling. And a movie that shows that is that Alice in Wonderland, where you had the Red Queen fighting the White Queen, and the White Queen is to represent the Dark Ages, and the Red Queen is to represent Esau. And Esau is chopping everybody's fucking head off, which, the guillotine, we're going to go into that's coming with this dark time. That was created from the French, which was one of those heads on the beast system.
So yeah, man, it's a lot of things, man. You see, because during the Dark Ages, they'll tell you, like the brother said, it wasn't good, nothing going on, but you'll have historians going, architects. Their job is to study buildings and erect buildings and all that. And they'll tell you that those castles from the Dark Ages, there's no way they can replicate those buildings that was built during that time and this time, and that technology has been lost. And that's how great the architecture was. So that lets you know what Esau gives you about the Dark Ages is bullshit, man. You see, during the Dark Ages, Jake is highly advanced, man, to the point to where their buildings can't even be copied in this time by these modern day architects.
Right. What it was Esau was more in conquering, and Jake was more in prosperity.
Jake was chilling.
Right. I was actually listening to a book this week about ancient Egypt, Greece, and Rome. And the heathen, they did a lot of incest. They married their brother, their sister, their mother, their father, and then they killed each other for power. That's the thing they did. The Egyptians did it. The Edomites did it, as Greeks and Romans. And Jake was living just like we live now, bro. You know how they talk about a lot of houses, you got like 3 or 4 generations in one house. They said in Egypt, when the slaves, which we know they were Israelites, were in Goshen, you would have 15 adults in one house, because you would have an Israelite man, the wives, he had multiple wives, and then they would have the parents of the wives, the son, the husband, and then all the children in one house. Just like today, you got big families in small houses, just like in ancient Egypt. So everything that's done today is how it was in the past.
Ain't nothing new under the sun, and we just in modern time,
Right.
And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet.
And this is the time we're living in now, man. All you hear about is wars and rumors of wars. All you hear about is Russia then built a new hypersonic missile. China has hypersonic missiles. North Korea has hypersonic missiles. That's all you hear. This nation's military is moving this way. This nation's military is moving that way. These nations are cooperating in war games, and they are practicing for this and that and the other. This is all you hear being talked about in the earth, man. Wars and rumors of wars. This is a sign of the times that we're living in, man. You see, this lets us know that where we are in prophecy. These things are not happening by coincidence. These things are happening because guess what? They show us that YAHAWASHI is close. You see?
Right. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom.
Yep.
And there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes.
All these things are happening, man. You have the situation, the major situation that's going on the earth right now. You have what? Babylon the Great and NATO about to go up against Russia. Now, is that going to pop off? Only the Lord knows. We're hoping that it pops off and something comes forth of it. You see? But don't be surprised. But that's a war.
You got to remember. Sorry, brother. Go ahead.
You got it.
I was going to say NATO, you got to remember, NATO was created to go against the USSR during the Cold War.
Yep.
So it really is, once again, nothing new under the sun. They're pretty much, and you got to remember, Russia became America's ally. At one time, it was part of the United Nations. But then when it first invaded Ukraine, I think it was in 2015, they cut them off because they didn't want, people to think things. But you got to remember, Ukraine was part of Russia at one time. Those are Russian-speaking people.
That's Russia's land, basically.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that's what you have, nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom. All the things that we're supposed to be looking for in the last days, man. These are all signs point to what? That our Lord is close to coming.
When the Soviet Union, when they stopped calling it the USSR, that's when Ukraine became its own, got its independency from Russia.
Right.
So it also says what, man? There should be famines, pestilences, earthquakes in diverse places. Now, the famine hasn't fully taken hold, but it's slowly trickling in, man. Because when you go into these grocery stores, you have a lack of food, some that's uncommon in the land of America, man. You see, I've never seen grocery stores shelves be the way they are in America, man. Growing up from a child, all you've known is what? Going to the grocery store and the shelves always being stocked, always being full, and that's not the case now. You see, to the point to where you have whole sections in the grocery stores missing. These are telltale signs that what? A famine is about to happen. And if war really pops off, the supply chains are cut off. Because that's what you do.
Yeah.
That's what you do in time of war. You don't supply your enemy with food and give them the energy to continue to fight you. You cut them off of food, you see, so you can starve them out. That's a tactic of war. That's how what they did to us during the time of slavery.
Right. That's what I was gonna say. Because the brother's reading Matthew 24, and that's what YAHAWASHI is prophesying. He's prophesying about 2 different times. He's prophesying about these last days and 70 AD, which it actually started in 66, because you got to remember back then it took them time to travel, and when they were putting down the skirmishes in different cities in Israel, or in what they call Palestine, it took them time to fight these battles and then to eventually get to Jerusalem.
Yo, it wasn't no overnight type of deal, man. And once the
Right.
and you got to understand, man, the Romans came in, they surrounded Jerusalem, and they cut off the supply lines. It wasn't nothing going in, it wasn't nothing coming out. So that's what. And the thing is, the same thing is going to happen now, because you have to understand the Most High has put Babylon and Great America in a vulnerable position. How? It's because He allowed America to become a what? An import only nation. All the food that you get is imported from outside of America, man. The majority of it is. You see, and the food that you have here in America, but the elite have been telling the farmers to destroy it. Get rid of the crops,
Right.
get rid of the milk, get rid of the eggs, destroy the fruit. You see, back when this, back when this thing first popped off, I don't want to say nothing too damn crazy. Back when this thing
2020.
You had farmers showing videos of how the government told them that everything they got, just leave it out there to rot, man. You had a dude out there with a fucking a field full of onions, man. You see, cabbage. They were euthanizing what? Euthanizing chickens, euthanizing beef. And guess what? Guess what's happening now? That shit that took place 2 years ago is now taking effect now, because when you go into the stores now, there's a lack of chicken. There's a lack of beef. You see, there's a lack of the produce. You see, all that's in effect from what happened 2 years ago. So this has already been in the works. And guess what? It's just going to get worse. When ain't no more grain coming in from Russia, the Most High still continues to send these crazy ass weather patterns He's been sending. You see, because guess what? These winters been going long into the planting season, man. And it's been throwing off the timetable. You see? The Most High has been flooding out the heartland of America where most of the crops are planted at. That's not by coincidence. That's happening on purpose. The Most High set this place up for a great besieging, man. You see? And famine is a major part of that. You see, so everything that's been happening has been little bit by little bit, but it's all accumulating for a bigger effect. You see? Finish that 24, then get your piece up. Read 7 again.
All right. 24 and verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines.
And what?
And pestilence.
That's happened with the this C-19, man. This is a form of a pestilence. You see, and expect more to come. You see, especially now people that got that damn juice, and they're about to turn this 5G on, whatever effect that's going to have. You see, more things are going to be released. You had this nigga Bill Gates that said a couple months ago, Americans should get prepared for bioterrorists to unleash smallpox. See, this is the type of shit when this 2020 popped off. When it first popped off, they was doing the same thing. They had that event 201, having what do you call it? Strategic meetings of what would happen if a pandemic really happened. And guess what happened? It came to pass. So this man is talking about weaponization of smallpox. Expect that to come to pass. So that's what predictive programming, and that's what pestilences. The Most High is putting in the earth by using His sword, Esau. These are all things that happen. And then it says what? Earthquakes in diverse places. You just had an earthquake in Japan, a 6.6 that was killing dozens of people, man. And they happening all throughout the earth in the most random places, man. A couple of years ago, you had an earthquake in Charlotte, North Carolina. Earthquakes in Tennessee. That's unheard of, man. You see? And these things are going to happen more. You had all these volcanoes erupting earlier this year, last year. All the volcanoes erupted, man. These are all signs, man. What you got?
I was going to say, in Canada, at the Wally World, at the martial law store, you got to have the jab to go in.
Yep.
Now in Quebec. And right here, because I know they just said recently that here in America, the truckers are going to have the mandate done. To cross the border already, from Canada to America, they got to have the thing. But it says right here from, this is 9 hours ago from Alaska Public Media. It says Alaska trucking companies say their employees are quitting over the you know what? The mandate.
And that's gonna
And
cause
that's America.
what is that gonna cause, man? If the trucks ain't running, ain't shit coming to the stores. And if ain't shit coming to the stores, it's gonna be a lack of what? A lack of food. So everything is
right. And it's gonna become mandatory here. Oh no, I was gonna say it is mandated on these truckers because they're pushing it on them.
And we know that's
and it's been reported that it was supposed to happen.
They're not gonna go for it. You see, and that's gonna cause what? More shortages. You go into a store now, man, you be lucky to find what you're looking for.
So Esau got all these pieces, placed, strategically and perfectly for, basically all hell to break loose, man. And he's used this thing to go ahead and take away, your basic freedoms, to set things up to where, man, as soon as all hell breaks loose, man, hey, the stage is set up, man. This place is ready for the slaughter.
Where's that 8 verse? Don't want to get to your piece.
Matthew 24 and verse 8. All these things are the beginning of sorrows.
See, this is what it is, man. This is the beginning of sorrows, and it just gets worse the more we progress down this timeline of prophecy, man. It's just going to get worse and worse and worse because guess what? That's what the Most High has ordained to happen in the earth, especially here in the land of America, as what? As a punishment, man. You got second Ezra. Before you get there, get second Ezra 15 and start at read verses 5 and 6, if I'm mistaken. God. Because this is what's happening. This is all this is happening is because the Most High is setting up judgment to take place in the earth. And one of the ways the Most High decided to do this is to cause great famines, man. You see? Because you people don't know how to go without, man. You people never had a lack of anything. But hey, the time is gonna come where you're not gonna be able to find you ain't gonna be able to find fucking baking soda in the store when the time comes, man. That's how bad it's gonna be. You see, you can still go ahead and pick and pull and still get the majority of the things on your grocery list, but the time is gonna come where you're gonna have motherfuckers out here fighting over gravy packets, man. You see?
And remember, it says in 1 day, in 1 hour, it's gonna come to that.
It's gonna be bad, man.
Pretty much, there's gonna be a day where we wake up and all that supply chain is gonna stop.
Yep, fine. So that's fine.
Right. Here's the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15 and verse 5. Behold, saith the Lord YAHAWASHI, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction.
Most I say he's gonna bring plagues upon the world, the sword. You see, meaning what? Is violence and chaos, famines, lack of food, a complete lack of food. You see, and what? Death and destruction. These are plagues that the Most High is sending for what? Scourges of amendment, punishments, judgments, man. You see? Why? And why is he doing this? Go to verse 6, bro.
Right, it says, for wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth.
So the Most High is telling you exactly why he's doing this. He's not doing this for no reason. He's not doing it because he's an asshole. He's doing it because guess what? The prophets on the highways and byways telling you people how to live, beginning with you Israelites, and you are refusing. You are continuing on in a rebellious way, thinking that the Most High just gonna allow shit to slide because he's been doing it for so long. You see? What you don't understand is the Most High has been allowing you to do this so you can build up your iniquity upon your heads when that punishment and judgment comes upon you. You'll be fully justified in destroying you, man. And how have you seen this? And a lot of people, how the Most High has set up that are going to die by famine.
Right. And I got a precept for what the brother just read because the sword also going into Esau.
Yep.
You got to remember YAHAWASHI in Revelation 6, he opened the seals. And how are these plagues coming upon the world? Through Esau. Yep. Esau is controlling the supply chains, and he's the one that's going to cause them to be short. Yep. Revelation 6, verse 8, and I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him, and power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth to kill with sword and with hunger and with death and with beasts of the earth. Which you also got to remember, Esau got these robots he's working on in the labs. He got animals. Remember that he just had that truck filled with all those monkeys? He got animals with titanium teeth, robotic abilities, which he's gonna unleash in the communities. Man.
Hey, did not Solomon prophesy that? Newly created creatures.
Right.
Some of the creatures gonna have fucking spiritual powers, man. To shoot out sparks and free fire and shit, man.
Remember when this thing started, right? Didn't they release a video of them releasing the mosquito, GMO mosquito?
Yep, down there
to
in
the population.
Down there in Florida.
So they're using the beasts of the earth to kill.
Oh,
which who has that ability, bro? Who has that ability?
Esau. Cause you just read Revelation 6 and 4 about the man being
6 and 8.
6 and 8 about the man being given that great sword.
Yeah.
He's weaponized everything, man. This nigga Esau's weapon. He's weaponized the supply chain. He's weaponized the animal. He's weaponized everything. The air is weaponized because it has what? Heavy metals in it. He's weaponizing the vibrations, the 5G and shit. He's weaponized all of that, man. The music, Esau is turning everything into a weapon against the Israelites. And guess what? For him to destroy the Israelites, he get his own people caught up in the mix. He said, you know what? Fuck everybody. If I got to kill a few of my people, a few 100 million of my people to get these Israelites out of the way, so be it. It's for the greater good. This is how Esau thinks.
Oh yeah, it's in their history, bro. It's in their history. When you go into their history of being Greeks and Romans, they killed each other. Like Caesar was killed by his adopted son, Brutus.
Yep.
Stabbed in the Senate.
Stabbed in the back.
You know?
And Brutus was his best friend.
Right. And that's what these Edomites do. If they don't care about each other, they'll definitely kill another, you know?
Come on, man. You see, we even have compassion upon 2/3 sometimes. We see Jake fucked up out here. Might give Jake $1 or $2. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Esau, man, Esau don't give a damn, man.
I got one more set. Isaiah 13, verse 6. Howl ye, for the day of YAHAWAH is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt, and they shall be afraid. Pangs, which that word pang means prophets of pain and sorrows. So you got the prophets that are telling them of the pains to come, and the sorrows, which you just went into, the beginning of sorrow. It says, shall take hold of them, they shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth, they shall be amazed one at another, their faces shall be as flames. Which it's going to go, they're going to go into invading each other's homes.
Yeah, we're going to get it.
Because one man got more.
We're going to get all that. It's coming, man, because you Americans have been at rest for too fucking long, man. You got children that grew up in war. What you think those children that were born in 2003, all they've known is war their whole life, man, over there in the Middle East. You see? What was it, 2000, when they invaded Iraq, or Iran or whatever. Yeah, Afghanistan and shit. Although those children, all they've known is war from the day they've been born, man. You Americans don't know shit about that. You don't know about going home and having to fucking, survive to make it. You have had everything
they got that
up to you on a silver platter.
They got that movie, A Beast of No Nation, where they have those UN soldiers go in there and they rape the kids and make them kill their own families and shit.
Yup. Hey, that shit is coming to America, man. You got it, bro.
All right, here's the book of 2nd Ezra. Let's see, chapter 15. Chapter 16 and verse 17. No. It says, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days?
So this is the prophet Ezra, man. And Ezra knew he was a man of the Lord. He was communing with angel. He was communing with an angel face to face, man. This man knew he was a man of the Lord, and he still said, woe is me, who is going to deliver me in that day? That's how bad it's going to be, man. That's how terrifying it's going to be out here, man. It's gonna be like something we can't even imagine. That's how bad it's gonna be. Because we've never seen anything happen the way this is about to happen. So yeah, that's why it says in Daniel what a tribulation that the world has never seen before. You know, this is what's coming. You got it.
Right. Verse 18, it says,
And if I could just say, that verse 17, also going into reincarnation, you know,
that is
with
well.
Esdras seeing himself in the future, saying, "Who's going to deliver me in those days?" You know,
that is well. God, why would he be prophesying that, talking about, you know what I'm saying, who's going to deliver him if reincarnation didn't exist? So that's a good point, bro.
the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death.
This is what we're in the beginning of right now, man. You see? And it's just going to continue to accumulate until we hit the height of it, man. All these little baby things that's happening, they're gonna continue to manifest into gigantic things, man. That gash is gonna continue to get worse and worse and worse till there's no healing it, man. Like the scriptures tell you, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. It's just gonna get worse and worse and worse. That wound is gonna continue to fester and get infected to the point to where it's just gonna be open, bleeding, pussing everywhere, man. It's gonna get real nasty out here. You see? You got it.
What verse did you just read up?
18, second Ezra 16 and 18.
Okay.
The beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come?
So this is the beginning of it, man. The beginning of sorrows. The beginning of wars, man. You see? That's all we've been hearing about for the last couple of years. And now we're starting to ramp up more and more and more, man. And we're hoping that something really pops off with this Ukraine thing, you see? And it manifests into an even bigger war. Because we're looking for these prophecies to happen, but we're in the beginning stages of, we're in the beginning of sorrows, man, as YAHAWASHI told us in Matthew 24. You see?
You know, all these things gotta happen before the kingdom of heaven is established. You know what I'm saying? Those gonna be bad times, but this must come to pass, you know.
And we hoping for, we praying for it to happen. We're not sitting here like some of you other groups probably are, hoping for another 10, 15 years in Babylon the Great, man. Somebody asked me, I was on a fucking interview. A motherfucker asked me where I see myself 10 years from now. I wanted to say in the kingdom, but I was like, I couldn't even come up with an answer to give them because I'm not looking 10 years in Babylon, man. That's a fucking thought that don't even cross my mind. I'm not sitting there contemplating where I'm gonna be 10 years in Babylon. I'm looking toward the kingdom, man. So I couldn't even answer that question with you know what I'm saying? Because that's something that I don't even consider. That's not even in my meditation. 10 years from now in Babylon, 10 years from now in the kingdom, we could talk about that, you know. But 10 years here in America, we don't got 10 years here, man. And that shows how blessed we are because we know this place ain't got no fucking 10 years, but the people outside of this truth, you see, outside of this small thing that we're a part of, they really think that America's gonna continue on forever. And it's crumbling right around them and they can't see it. That shows you that when this thing what's up, bro? Like when
I was gonna say, go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
I was saying, because like when this thing happened, that's why YAHAWASHI says it's gonna be as a thief in the night. It's gonna catch so many people with their ass out, man. It's gonna be crazy because they're not considering, damn, maybe this is the end of America. I had a chick tell me the other day in the grocery store, I can't wait till America goes back to normal. I'm like, I just started smiling.
They're caught into that, you know, they're drunk off that Babylon juice, man. Even because even in the, you know, the music, you know, these different artists and stuff will tell you what's going on, man. Because, you know, it brings to mind a particular song by man, what's that bitch name? I forget her name, but she has a song where she puts in there, you know, you're too busy living in a bubble that you cannot see the trouble.
Katy Perry.
I was thinking Perfect Storm.
And Lauryn Hill got one too about Babylon, about people being drunk on that Babylon juice. Yep. But I was gonna say that in Matthew 24, that word sorrow, right? I looked it up, and it's odion, and what it means is intolerable pain at the same time of birth and death.
Because guess what? Because it might not be so much physical for some people. It's gonna be more mental. That mental, having that fucking mind of not knowing where your next meal is coming and not knowing what the fuck is happening and why it's happening. That's a plague of the mind, man. Not knowing to understand that everything that's about to take place is according to the Most High's will. That's tormenting, man.
Right. And then when you go into the word, it gives you the word throes, 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 and it says intense or violent pain with struggle.
So because what? Starving to death is very painful. I haven't experienced it, but I'm pretty sure
it's the worst death the Bible can speak of, bro. It says it's worse than the sword.
Yo, we're gonna get that. Lord,
I got it.
You got it?
This is Lamentations 4:9. It says, "They that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger. For these pine away, stricken through the want of fruits of the field."
That movie, The Road, bro. The movie, The Road. Remember that movie? Where him and his kid.
I gotta watch that again.
He told his son, starvation takes a long time. It's not like you just die from it. It takes days, maybe weeks.
And the most I can have you in the space to where you around, like you in your house, you around mirrors and you just see yourself wasting away week after week after week, bro.
These pine away.
Yep.
And just think, you find the food, but it's rotted. You go into someone's house and there's cans, but they're already empty. You know, it just causes more pain and suffering that's already on you, you know?
That's a torment of the mind, man. What you say, bro?
And in the Hebrew here, that pine away would go into flow out.
Yeah, man. These are the times we're entering into. We're seeing the beginning stages of it, man. You see? Because I'm in a lot of these grocery stores all throughout the Denver area, bro. And it's looking the same way at every fucking grocery store I go into. I'm talking about every grocery store I've gone into, it's some shit missing. I'm talking about and it ain't like just one or two items. I'm talking about you got whole fucking sections in the grocery store missing. Whole sections of produce missing. And if it's there, it's bad quality. So
right. Second Ezra chapter 16 and verse 19. Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment.
These are as whoopings the Most High is sending mainly to our people, because guess what? You have to understand, man, because all these prophecies, this is pertaining to Israel. And the Most High want them to get right. So the Most High is sending these scourges for amendment, you see, for correction, for our people to do what? The right thing in his sight. To repent and come back unto him through the faith in YAHAWASHI. Now you heathen, you just collateral damage. You in the way. It's like when you was younger, your siblings be getting their ass whooped, you try to save them. You see, then you start getting your ass whooped because you ain't minding your business. You know? And that's what you heathen are. You are collateral damage that the Most High just going to take out of the way and his children. You see? Because he's looking for Israel to get right. Not for you heathen. You heathen can't get right if you wanted to.
That's why it's called Jacob's trouble.
Yep. And because of Jacob's trouble, you heathen are going to suffer. You're going to suffer right along with Jacob.
What's it say in Psalms? It says that the Lord shows his ways and his judgment unto Israel. That's him showing his judgment to Israel. Them two dirt catching judgment.
And I just looked up the stages of starvation, the phases, and I'm gonna jump to the third phase. It talks about increased susceptibility to disease, and then you go to the fourth phase, and it says that it wreaks havoc on a person's immune system. So you saw how sick everybody got just recently when they're starving, and just this Omicron and this Delta and this, Crown Vic. Hey, when people are starving, their immune systems are fucked up.
It's compromised food. So guess what? The air's polluted. Now you sort of can take care of yourself and you can get right. You can get some tea, some herbs up in you. But in that time when shit is lacking, you don't have those resources. You pining away. Your immune system is compromised. You got the chemtrails, because the chemtrails still gonna be here. It's still gonna be here. So you mix that shit in with your that too. You got all that shit happening with your compromised immune system. That's gonna cause pestilence to spread even more, man. The Most High is cold with it. This is all the Lord, man. You see?
And that's what happened in the road when you watch that movie. Remember, they caught a common cold, bro, and they were just miserable because they couldn't heal. He just got sicker and sicker because he was weak.
Like, bro, the most I get this shit on lock, bro. You got the most I cold, bro.
You know, just to expound on these plagues and these things being scourges for amendment. This is a call to you so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, Seminole Indians to get right, man. All right, get right while you still can. All right, it's about to get bad out here.
That's why the scriptures say. Let me grab that real quick. Real quick.
You don't want to wait till it's too late.
This is Isaiah.
And you know, like I was gonna say, you know how you hear someone's footsteps before they're here?
Yep.
They might be on the other side of the wall, but you could hear them stepping. Well, that's how these plagues are, bro. The plagues are already upon this earth, and you're just seeing them, hearing about them, but people are not really believing that they're happening.
Yep.
Because they're under that Babylon juice that everybody's talking about, you know?
This is Isaiah 55:6. It says what? Seek ye YAHAWASHI YAHAWASHI while he may be found. Call ye upon him while he is near. You see, this is the time, and the Most High is near right now. He can be found through what? His man been on these videos. You can come on our comment board. You can come on our comment board. You can ask questions. You can ask for breakdown, and we will give it to you freely. You can come to the highways and byways. The same thing applies, man. If you come respectfully, you see in truth and sincerity, man, you really want to learn, we will teach you because that's what we're here to do. To get what? The elect right in the sight of the Most High through what? Preaching repentance and faith in the Lord YAHAWASHI. That's what we're here to do. You see, but you come on that bullshit, you see, we're going to come with the bullshit. So we ain't got, this is not a time to play, man. We are at a fucking war. We're in the midst of a spiritual battle right now, man. And we're calling we're rallying all the troops by doing what? By preaching this gospel, preaching repentance, believing in YAHAWASHI, man. You see?
That's the only way that you're gonna be able to survive in a full-out famine. If YAHAWASHI ain't got their heads around you, ain't dealing with you, then you ain't gonna make it. That's it.
Ain't no other way. You can prep all you fucking want to. You can say what you ain't gonna do, and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. I got a plan to get out of the city. The shit shut down. Guess what? You're not in control of that. What did the city shut down? What did the city shut down 2 o'clock in the morning? Your ass in the house dead sleep. And by the time you get up in the morning, the city locked down. The troops are surrounding the city. You can't move nowhere. So your whole plan is out of the window now. Not what you do. You see? You see? You people think that you're in control. The Most High is about to show you that you were never in control. You see that you was always subject to what His will is, man.
Let me get a step up with what you said. It says in 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 22, flee also youthful lusts, but follow righteousness, faith, charity, peace with them that call on the Lord out of a pure heart. But foolish and unlearned questions avoid, knowing that they do gender strifes.
So if it ain't, look, man, if it ain't edifying, we're not gonna entertain it, man. You're here talking about what color was King David's garment. What the hell that got to do with salvation? Or like the Apostle Hall said a couple years ago, we ain't in the time of preaching about King David playing the harp. You see, we're in the time of prophesying about YAHAWASHI, man. You see, repenting and believing upon YAHAWASHI so you can receive your salvation and be covered with that hedge of protection when all hell breaks loose. This is what we're supposed to be doing as Israelites, as the teachers, man. Not supposed to be doing no damn reality shows and looking for clout, vainglory, fifth of lucre, man. We trying to get the elect protected through the spirit of power, YAHAWASHI. You see, so when that day finally comes, YAHAWASHI comes, we can be taken up and our life can really begin. You see? What you had someone now?
Hi, I just wanted to bring out Job 5. Salakia, I hear an echo. All right. So I had Job 5, and since y'all talking about famine and stuff, also we know that in times of war, there's also a lack of supplies, and we see that going on as well. You go to these hardware stores and stuff like that, Home Depots, Lowe's, and there's a lack of supplies that is needed to build. So all that is being taken away because also the wars that are coming. And hey, if people ain't working, there's no need, to feed them. That's how this people think out here, this wicked kingdom, So that's another reason we gain a lack of food out here. So, but this is Job 5 and verse 17. Behold, happy is the man whom the Most High Power corrected. Therefore, despise not thou the chastening of the Almighty, for he make it sore and bind it up. He wounded and his hands make it whole. He shall deliver thee in 6 trouble. Yeah, in 7 there shall no evil touch thee. In famine he shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword.
So the Most High is going to hedge them, and how is it going to come, man? The only way you're going to have that type of protection in the time we're coming into, somebody get Isaiah 34 and 7. Nah, Isaiah, let me get that real quick. Hold that real quick.
You see how it began with telling you about the correction again, man.
Yep.
Blessed is the Most High who he's correcting. So all this has been, even the curses, everything has been there to correct Jacob. You see, and now this final blow of Jacob's trouble is what's being used to perfect the elect, so to speak, and judge the 2/3, man. You see? What's gonna?
You know, we were talking about the Dark Ages.
Go ahead, brother.
Go ahead, bro.
No, you should read it.
I was going to say, we were talking about the Dark Ages at the beginning, and when the Dark Ages ended, Jake that was ruling was corrupting the doctrine, bro, of what they call Christianity. They were allowing pagan sacrifices. Yep. When that judgment came, when the Edomites were allowed to come out of the caves of the Caucasus Mountains and take rulership over Jake, which is called the Renaissance, the rebirth of the so-called white man, Jake was corrupting the doctrine of the truth, And that's what's happening right now. You got false prophets, you got scoffers.
They was making it a universal doctrine, like this Catholic bullshit, so they can get more money into the church, because that's what it was all about for them, man. So this is so the only way, like the brother God was saying, man, being protected and receiving, like the brother now was reading, being protected and receiving all those things, that's only going to come through faith in YAHAWASHI. Because Psalms 34 and 7 says what? The angel of Yahweh encampeth round about them that fear him and delivereth them. So to be delivered from famine, to be delivered from the sword, from the pestilence, from war, that is only accessible unto you through faith in YAHAWASHI. You see? That's why the angels encamp about us, because we believe in the only begotten Son of the Most High. We believe on the Savior of Israel, man. And that's how we have that protection package. You see? That's what the faith in YAHAWASHI brings us, man. It brings us that protection package of being protected by the angels, being protected by the angels on the ground, being protected by the angels in the heavens. You see, being fed when the time comes to be fed, so forth and so on, man. That only comes from faith in the Lord YAHAWASHI.
Because those angels are the ones bringing the judgment. When you understand what they're doing, remember when King David was going to number Israel, the Lord sent an angel to smite Israel.
Yep.
Even Esau is known as the cherubim of destruction.
Yep.
He's an angel that was sent to destroy.
Yep. Because the angel is just a messenger, man. We are angels. Esau is an angel. Esau is coming to bring the what? The message of death and destruction. You see? He's coming to actually play it out. You see? He's actually becoming that slaying instrument that the Most High has created on the earth to cause the judgments of famines, plagues, of pestilence, and war. You see? That's all being done through the left-hand side, through the sword of the Most High, the so-called white man, whose biblical name is what? Esau. You got it, Shabbat.
All right. Now I was trying to get Anna to read a little further down on that chapter in Job 5.
Yeah, I think he was going to get it.
Oh, God. Still there? You want to go ahead and read it, Anna?
You might have to read it.
There or not? I'll read it real quick.
You got it.
All right. This is Job 5, and I'm going to jump to 22. At destruction and famine thou shalt laugh, neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth.
And why is that? Why are we going to be able to laugh in that? Because of our faith in YAHAWASHI, man. Our faith in YAHAWASHI is going to empower us beyond anything that we can imagine. This investment that we've been able to make through the spirit and power of YAHAWASHI by having this blessing of faith bestowed upon us to believe in YAHAWASHI, the way, the truth, and the life, that's going to come with a lot of things, man. That comes with access that we can't even imagine right now. To the point to where we're going to be calling on the name of YAHAWASHI when we're in trouble, and he's going to be there to help us, man. So when famine comes, everybody else is starving. We'd be somewhere eating a big ass ribeye steak or some shit, or eating manna from heaven, or the Most High causing quails or turkeys to come and then camp around about us wherever we camping at in the wilderness. That's the type of access and power we have through our faith in YAHAWASHI. You got to understand, man. Our Lord has been given all power in heaven and earth. The only reason you're fed every day is because YAHAWASHI allows it. You see? So how much more for us who forsaken our life on this side to uplift, exalt, and magnify YAHAWASHI right now? He gonna take care of us, man, as he's always done. You got to go.
This is Sirach 17 and 18. It says, "Whom being his firstborn he nourisheth with discipline, and giving him the light of his love doeth not forsake him. Therefore all their works are as the sun before him, and his eyes are continually upon their ways. None of their unrighteous deeds are hid from him, but all their sins are before the Lord. But the Lord being gracious and knowing his workmanship, neither left nor forsook them, but spared them." So showing you, man, that, the Most High sees all of Israel's works. You see, sees all of what they're doing. And what has he done? Nourish this nation with discipline, man, to cause us to learn accountability, to repent and get right, which again is, what this time of Jacob's trouble is all for, which is why the book of 1 Peter, the second chapter, first looking up the second chapter, 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 17 says this. It says, "For the time has come that judgment must begin at the house of God." And then what is the house of God, man?
Those who know they're Israelites.
The ministry, man. Those who have taken their hands, those who have taken their hands upon this, this third temple, so to speak, which is the body of YAHAWASHI. You see, judgment is coming for the nation of Israel, because what you have is a structure being built to withstand this time of Jacob's trouble, man. And if you aren't part of this proper structure, then you're going to be cooked right along with the rest of the world, man.
That was it. Yes, more?
Were you going to say something, brother?
Nah, I wasn't going to say nothing.
Kind of going on. It says, "What shall the end be of them that obey not?" Oh, it's lucky. "And if it first began at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of God?" And that's where the scriptures say that you're going to see people with their hands upon their bellies like women in labor, man. You're going to see those that seek death but shall not find it. All this time that ignorance is bliss here, you've been drunk off that Babylon juice, been caught in that bubble, been occupied by the bread and circuses. When all this judgment comes forth, man, you're just ready to be slaughtered.
Yep. Guess what? A lot of
you know that. Go ahead, I was gonna say there's a good part in Bad Boys where they go to Cuba, and that dude has that new house being built, and it's getting tore down. Will Smith is driving a Hummer right through the house, and he's like, "Oh my God!" Like he's literally doing that, grabbing his stomach, like, "Oh my God, my house!" Yep. And that's what they're gonna be like, bro. They're gonna go into the store and there ain't gonna be nothing. Maybe one moldy ass loaf of bread, and they're gonna be like, "Oh my God, bro!" I witnessed it. I had an elderly grandfather I took care of, and he had Alzheimer's, and he saw the price of bread one time in King Soopers, and he fucking cried right there in front of the bread. How am I gonna feed my kids? Because in his mind, he still had 16 kids at home. So these people are going to see that same dread when, hey, how am I going to feed my babies? How am I going to feed my kids?
So,
You know,
that's the time we coming into.
That's what's gonna usher in what? Invading one another's houses.
We're gonna get it, bro. We're gonna get it, bro. We're gonna get it, bro.
cannibalism.
Let me finish this off. Verse 18, it says, and if the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear?
Man. So yeah, all you dudes who out here denying YAHAWASHI, you made it your mission to just deny the Son of the Most High. When that time comes, man, ain't no fucking standing gonna be lifted for you. Ain't no food coming your way. Your children gonna be dying of thirst, and there's nothing you're gonna be able to do. And that you're gonna be powerless, man. And why? It's because you made it your mission to deny and look down upon YAHAWASHI, man. You see, the one that takes care of us, because that's who's taking care of us. YAHAWASHI is taking care of us. We have what we have because YAHAWASHI allows us to have it, man. And you denying him the way you deny, man, you dudes about to be in a bad case, man. You see, you're about to be hurting out here.
Yeah. All right, Second Ezra chapter 16 and verse 19. It's like it, verse 20. But for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness. All right, so Slaki, it says, but for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges.
So all these things are going to continue to compile with each other, and they're just going to get more and more wickeder, man. They're not going to even turn, they're not even going to consider that this is the Most High doing this. They're just going to think that this is another phase. It always happens this way. And eventually it'll be back on track. And we'll be back to normal, living our normal Babylonian lives, man. But that's not what's about to happen. You see?
What's a good example of that is how when all this stuff first started going on, you know, people started getting more serious, right? People started getting more serious. You started seeing the Bible sales skyrocket, you see? And then all of a sudden, you know, things start, Esau puts them bread and circuses back out of the rocks everybody back to sleep. Everybody just goes right back into the notion and just, you know, forgot about all of it, man. And now they're continuing to get worse and worse and worse, man.
Right. Behold, victuals shall be so good, cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case.
And this is what we are now. This is what we at now. You can go to any fucking fast food spot and load up if you want to. Hell, the food is still somewhat cheap. It ain't hit hyperinflation prices yet. So you can still go in there and spend $200 and get a buggy full of food, you see, and you think that you're in good case because this is happening.
Right.
In other words, what did I just say? Rocking them back to sleep.
Yep.
Because the only change in purchasing power is actually coming from the dollar devaluing. It's not even inflation yet.
Yep.
Because if they actually did change the inflation to the appropriate rate, the people would be in the street protesting already, bro.
Yep.
And even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion.
So this is a constant theme in the scriptures, man. Sword, famine, and great confusion. These are three major things that the Most High is going to use as what? Tools of judgment and spirits of vengeance. You see? That's what the Most High is about to unleash. And the only ones who are going to be exempt from this are the ones who have been what? Signed and crowned for all the abominations that they've done in this world. Those who believe in YAHAWASHI, those are the ones who are going to be exempt. Everybody else, you're going to feel the Most High's wrath, man. In however shape, form, or fashion the Most High wants you to feel it. But according to the scriptures, a lot of people are going to do what? Die by famine. Get that next verse. Verse 22.
It says, for many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine.
You see, many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine. Why? Because you people have never had to go without. And that's one of the worst deaths you can have, man. Drowning. Hey, first of all, being burned alive, drowning, and dying of famine. You see? Those are the top three worst ways you can die, man. And maybe being eaten alive. I mean, shit. That's probably bad as fuck too. But yeah. And guess what? The Most High has all that on the menu of destruction, man. You go look at that menu of destruction, of the menu of judgment. All those ways to die are on there, man.
You see, and the Christian church don't never ever go over this. That's the crazy thing.
No, but I never heard about famine in the church.
Come out in the churches, man.
Yeah.
That's right. It says, slide here. And the other that escaped the hunger shall the sword destroy.
And that fulfills what? That fulfills Amos. A man shall run from one judgment, from one situation. He gonna run right into another situation. He runs and flees from that situation and runs into another situation. Meaning what? There's gonna be no escaping that day, man. There's no way you can run from the Most High. You see, the Most High has unlimited reach. You can be touched by YAHAWASHI from anywhere on the earth. So all you people talking, making a doctrine of getting up and leaving America to escape judgment, you don't understand the Most High. The Most High can get you anywhere. You see?
But you know, in Egypt, when there was famine, when the Israelites were first coming, the first 12 sons of Israel, the Israelites, they went down to Egypt for food because there was a famine. You had Joseph that had the vision. Well, the Pharaoh had the vision, and Joseph broke it down for 7 years of plenteous and 7 years of famine. But it was a setup to lead the Israelites into slavery.
To do what?
And what's it say?
To judge Pharaoh.
Right. And what's it say? Woe unto them that go down to Egypt for help. You're going to have Israelites that go down to Egypt and take that, implantable micro CHIP for help to be able to buy food to escape the judgment of famine. And they're going to get caught up in that nuclear destruction.
The Most High got this shit on lock, man. The Most High cold with it, man. If you're not meant to make it, bro, you're not going to fucking make it, man. You see, no matter where you go, it's the Most High going to get your ass, man. That's why when you niggas are scoffing and mocking and talking shit, we don't worry about it, because at the end of the day, the Most High has your number, man. You're going to get caught in some shape, form, or fashion. All that shit talking, all that mocking of the prophet, you talking shit to the leaders of Israel. You see, trying to exalt yourself over them, the Most High gonna touch you in some type of way, man. And like the brother said, a lot of you dudes, you don't even believe that the CHIP is the MOTB. So when it comes, you're gonna go and take it and receive an even worse destruction, man. Fire. Hey, man. So the Most High got it on lock, man. What you had, go?
Oh, it's lucky I never took my hand out.
Oh, God. Go ahead. That's just the last verse.
And the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them. For the earth shall be wasted, and the cities shall be cast down.
You're going to have dead bodies littering the streets, man, to the point to where you see the ambulance. If a dead body drop right now, the ambulance will be there in fucking 15 minutes to pick it up. The time we coming into, ain't going to be no fucking ambulance coming. It's just going to be bodies on top of bodies. You see, the stench of death is going to be so heavy in the air, you're going to be able to taste it, man. You see?
Right. And what's that going to bring forth, man? Why do we bury bodies?
Pestilence.
Get rid of disease. So now you're going to have disease spread. And not only that, you're going to have, like the brother just went into it, what does the famine bring?
The most
susceptible diseases.
Cannibalism. And they're going to get disease from eating them bodies.
God.
It's going to be bad.
And in that movie World War Z, bro, when all hell broke out, remember the cop? He shot that dude trying to rape his wife. And the cop, he said he went like that because the cop was coming for him. The cop ran right past him to the baby formula. Because the cops and the ambulance and the firefighters, they're going to have their own problems to deal with.
Hey, they gonna hang it up, bro. The thing is, when these bodies and shit start dropping, it's gonna be more chaos in the streets. These police officers not gonna be on the fucking beat taking care. Man, they're gonna be like, man, fuck y'all, we out. And that's gonna cause a whole nother stack of problems, man. When ain't no fucking 911 to call. Oh my goodness.
And you gotta remember, recently, didn't they have all these 911 shutoffs where they said for a day 911 you can't even reach nobody? And then now this year they said all these cops are getting shot. What do you think that's doing to these cops' confidence?
And they get up out of there. And and the thing is, it was forecasted because they started making movies about cops being attacked and all type of shit. That was letting you know what was about to happen. So a lot of this shit is staged. So what? So the cops can quit. So what? Or the IKO.
And you know what? Putin said that, bro, in his interview with American Reporter. He said about the Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
And he said that's a political agenda, you know. And what were they saying? Defund the police.
Yep.
Why do they want defunding the police? So that they can get that chaos out of their order out of chaos
and bring the military in.
Mm-hmm.
And shit really gonna pop. You see?
All right.
What you holding, Shabbat?
Just to back you up on what you said about the ambulances not being able to keep up with the dead bodies.
Sure.
But I'm gonna start at Revelation 11 and 8 and go read 9. It says, and this is 8, and their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt.
Yeah, that's going to something else, but that's going into us being the dead bodies. God, that's going into us.
Let me bring out 9. Is that off? It says, and they of the people and the creatures of tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves.
Yeah, that's going into us being dead in Babylon the Great for that 350 years. You know, when other Abba Bivens came on the scene, you know.
Okay.
In other words, no man shall buy you.
God.
But that shows that this is a spiritual Egypt, man. Like the brother called y'all, that's the spirit, because I wanted to make mention of it. He was talking about people going to Egypt for to get peace and safety, so to speak.
Help.
Which, obviously people ain't gonna be taking, catching flights to go to Egypt and seek refuge, man. He's talking about them going to this beast system, spiritual Egypt, to get these things.
God.
And that's why through the spirit, Shabbai, what he was bringing out, it's kind of with the spirit, because why are they going to go down? Because these Israelites are spiritually dead. You know, they believe a lie, and they don't want to be Israelites. They want to be something else. They want to be, so-called black. They want to be so-called American, Mexican, So that's why these Jake are going to catch that death going down to Egypt, because Egypt is not your brother. The Egyptians did not love the Israelites. Really, Moses loved the Israelites. That's why he killed that Egyptian when he saw him beating the Israelite. But what they say, are you here who put you over us? Not realizing that YAHAWAH did. YAHAWAH put Moses over the Israelites, being King David, And that's what they're doing to us. These foolish Israelites, they're saying, who set you up as the true prophets? Who set Elder Tahar up, And they don't realize it. This Almighty YAHAWAH Sham Yahushua.
And they don't understand that the same thing they're saying right now, because basically that's what they said in the wilderness. We're tired of dealing with you, Moses. Tell the Most High to come down. We're going to talk directly towards the Most High. That should let you know that, oh shit, the Israelites we the Israelites. But guess what? Because they ain't got the Holy Spirit, they can't see it.
And what they want to do, they wanted to go back to Egypt for the cucumbers, watermelons, and the leeks. And that's why, even though what Brother Shabbai brought out wasn't really dealing with that moment, but it had its importance, showing that these 2/3, bro, they're dead. They're walking dead. They don't realize it. They're dead men walking.
Yep, because if you're not covered with the Spirit of the Most High, man, your ass is out of there.
Right. Even if you call yourself an Israelite, if you ain't got YAHAWAH Shem Yahushai in your corner, you're done, man.
God, that's why I wanted to make mention earlier, man. This is the true dark ages, man.
Mm-hmm. Isaiah 60, man. That gross darkness covering the people, bro. That shit is crazy. You got it.
All right. The book of Ecclesiasticus, or Sirach in the Apocrypha, chapter 39 and verse 28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them.
So that's what these spirits of vengeance are.
Right?
Just like that dude that shot them cops, bro. That dude that shot them cops, that was a spirit of vengeance. He was whooping his bitch, and they came over there in a domestic violence, and he just started opening up shots. And the Lord was guiding every one of those shots. And then he even died before he had to go do time. Just like a Jeffrey Dahmer,
You know why? Because he had accomplished his mission on the earth. It was time for him to go back to the spirit world.
He had to kill those 2 Jacobs. That was his whole purpose of life.
Yup, that's what he was born for. Yup.
Mm-hmm.
There's fire and hail and famine.
Fighting. So you see, like we read famine at least 18 times in this lesson, man. Fire, hail, and famine. You see, what are these, bro? What does it say?
It says, and death. All these were created for vengeance.
That's what these things are created for, man. Famine happens as a punishment. Death happens as a punishment. Fire. You having people being burned up in fucking apartment buildings and homes. Like dozens of people. Those are spirits of vengeance, fulfilling the will of the Most High. What? Bringing judgment upon people, man.
Yeah. And you know, Slack, brother. Colorado and California is on fire right now.
Yep. So yeah.
People don't realize that, but in the news they're reporting unnatural fires taking place in Colorado and California right now. And what California, that's where most of your produce comes out of.
Yep. Burning up all the crops. And that's because of what? That's because of YAHAWASHI wanted to happen.
Mm-hmm.
It says, teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents, and the sword, punishing the wicked to destruction.
That's what these things were created for. These weren't created for the righteous, man. These weren't created for those who believe in YAHAWASHI. All these spirits of vengeance were created for those who don't believe in YAHAWASHI. Because when you read in 2 Ezra 15, it says what? All the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. That's what the spirits of vengeance are going to be unleashed upon. Just like the death angels that you read about in Ezekiel 9, they're unleashed upon who? Those men who are not sighing and crying. Those men who don't want the will of the Most High to be done. Those men who refuse to repent and come back to their true heritage, man, as being the Israelites and calling on the one true living power and His only begotten Son. That's who these spirits of vengeance were created for. The disobedient of our people, man. You see?
That's also why it says scorpions. Our people are scorpions, bro. You know that they'll kill you, just like that Jake that
killed another Jake.
Right.
Esau come, that nigga pull his pants up, tighten his belt up, chain his fucking voice to go fucking 2 octaves higher. You know what I'm saying?
And that's why it says we'll tread upon serpents and scorpions, bro. Because we're going to be in dangerous times, perilous times, and you're going to be able to walk through it. You might come across a bear. It even says that you're going to be at peace with the animals of the field, the Leviathan. You might come into the path of the Leviathan, and he stops to let you pass, and then he continues his destruction. You know?
Yeah, man. These are the times we're coming into, man. Well, like, bro, because what is this year, man? 2022, the year of what? YAHAWASHI turning up. So expect to see more of these things happen on an even grander scale, man. You see?
Oh, and that brother, he did a good video, made a good point. He said if the left hand is getting turned up, the right hand has to spiritually get turned up.
Right. Because guess what? It's balanced. It's balanced.
Right.
If Esau about to come with it, guess who's gonna come with it? YAHAWASHI gonna come with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Isaiah 59:19.
There it is. I'm about to say the standard being lifted. So this is the time we're living in, man.
All right. Ecclesiastes chapter 30, 39 and verse 31. It says, they shall rejoice in his commandment, and they shall be ready upon earth when need is. And when their time is come, they shall not transgress his word.
So when the time is come for these death angels, that's all they are. That's what famine, fire, death, and destruction, all that those are death angels, man. You see, so when it's time to unleash, man, they're going to bring that judgment into perfection. They're not gonna miss a beat. There ain't gonna be no accidental kills, man. Ain't gonna be no because somebody standing beside you, they gonna get caught. No, they gonna get put to death because the Most High is ordained for them to get put to death. These death angels gonna be on around the clock making shit happen.
So they gonna
like Putin, bro. Putin is a death angel.
Oh yeah.
He getting those nuclear missiles ready. And you gotta remember, it says that they're not gonna want gold or silver. Meaning they don't want to see that. They want to see those nuclear missiles that they've been storing up go into action. They want to see that
You know why? Because they sick of America, man.
Yeah.
And then it also says in Ezekiel 38 that the Most High is gonna put an evil thought into their mind, man.
Mm-hmm.
That was it now. So I want to grab this one right here, man. We can start closing it down. I have second edge of 13 I want to go into Isaiah 65, and we can wrap it up after that. But just to show you, man, this is the time we living in, man. This is the time of great judgment happening, and you still got Dick out here playing around and bullshit. You see, denying our Savior when He's the one that's going to keep us from all these things that's coming. But this is second Edges 15 and 14. It says what? Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. And one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. Because of what, man? Because all hell is going to break loose, man. No longer is it going to be you going to the store and just grabbing stuff for you and thinking you're just going to take it home and it's going to be safe. No. It's going to be a fucking melee out here, man. It's going to be a battle royale out here, man. And only the strongest going to survive, according to the will of the Most High. You see, you're going to have shootouts in the streets over loaves of breads and canned goods, man. You see? You're going to have people fucking in stores slitting each other's throats about gravy packets and fucking Chef Boyardee, man. You see?
Gravy packets, for real. That's true.
This is the type of shit that's coming, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get the last can of ravioli or whatever it is, and you're going to have fucking 2 people on one end of the aisle and 5 people on the other end of the aisle. Y'all going to meet in the middle, and let's see what happens.
And some, it's not even going to be for food. It's going to be for your bitch's ass. These guys that walk around, they got these badass bitches. Hey, Jake been scoping you out. Esau been scoping you out, and they want that ass.
And you know what she gonna be? She gonna be a fucking bartering token. Hey, if you give me 2 cans of those raviolis, a can of those black beans, and some of that fucking masa, you can have this bitch for 2 hours.
Yeah, I was gonna say that in that movie with Denzel Washington, bro, where he's the Equalizer 2. He has those Russians, and he gives them $9,000. He said, "This bitch right here will make me $100,000. Why do I want your measly $9,000?" And that's how they're gonna see these women. Shit, fuck, giving you her. I'll sell her to you for 5 minutes for a can of food.
When that dollar is collapsed, the bartering token is gonna be the woman. You see?
And then they're gonna go in there and blow your brains out while you're fucking the bitch.
Yup. So what? They can keep her and keep the food that they just finished your ass out of, man. It's about to be, hey, that's why I tell you that in the last time shall come perilous days, man. You see? Once that word perilous, it goes into savage. It's gonna get real sad. Like this, the shit we see in these movies, that's about to play out in real life, man.
But Eli, remember they were making the people food in that old people's house? And he said, "I don't see no cows."
Oh yeah, they had that fucking human meat.
Yeah.
They were eating that fucking meat. They had the shakes and shit.
Mm-hmm.
So it goes on to say, 2 Edges 15 and 16, "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power." This is what the buildup is leading to, man. But these civilians are gonna rise up against these elected officials, man. They're gonna come up against these mayors and these governors. They ain't gonna be listening to nothing they got to say. They're gonna be out here starving, man. So they're gonna take the power into their own hands. All these militia groups that are out here, they're gonna mount up and get shit moving. You see? Civil war gonna pop off.
Oh yeah, especially right now.
Oh,
because they you know how they invaded on January 6th the Capitol. They got those people in prison right now being abused without any trial. So Esau is aware of that they don't have no rights, bro. So when they come, they're gonna come for blood this next time. It ain't gonna be like January 6th.
They're gonna come out there, man, because some of these fucking civilians got goddamn army guns, man. You see, they got shit that the army ain't even got. You see, and this is it, like, bro, all the prophecies are coming together to a head, man. You see, we're coming into the climax of the Most High's movie. So it goes on to say, verse 17, "A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able." Why? It's because the troops are going to be brought in. Martial law is going to be initiated. Ain't going to be no fucking free reign to roam and move around like you're doing now. Just up and down the roads all day burning gas and shit. That shit is about to stop when these troops come in, man. You're going to have a curfew. And it's going to get to a point where if you're on the streets after the curfew, shoot to kill.
I'm gonna say something. I had a dream a while back, and it was just like that. All right. People weren't walking around outside, walking their dogs like they are now.
Jogging and shit.
You won't want to be caught outside in these times. You know what I'm saying?
In the daytime.
That's right.
You're not gonna be wanting to get outside in the fucking light.
Right? Get boarded up in their houses, man, scared as I don't know what.
Looking through the blinds and shit. Somebody come to the door, it's gonna be what you want.
That's it.
You see?
They're gonna eat the dog, bro. And they ain't even gonna have a pet, bro. They're gonna cook that little bastard.
Hold up. That's if the dog don't eat them.
Right, there you go. That's true.
God. So it says what? Verse 18. For because of their pride, and this is what's happening, man. The Most High is punishing the world for their pride and their arrogancy that they're showing and exalting against them, man. Everything the Most High said was right to do, the world is that, no, we're gonna do it this way. We're gonna do it the wicked way. So this is why the Most High is about to send punishment upon you, man. Especially 2/3 of all people. It says what? For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Because what? These people have no idea what's about to take place. Because Isaiah 33:6 tells us what? That wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of our times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. So the only ones who are going to be stable in these times are those who have made YAHAWASHI their foundation, man. Anything outside of that shit is going to crumble. As YAHAWASHI even told me. Hey, a man that take heed unto me, I will liken him unto a man that built his house upon a rock. That when the storm and the floods came and beat upon the house, but the house wasn't moved. Those who don't take heed to YAHAWASHI, it's like a man likened to building his house upon sand. Then when the floods came, the storms blew, the winds came, it knocked the house over because what? It was founded upon sand. It wasn't founded upon the sure foundation, man. And this is what's about to happen. Everybody who's taking this for granted, you playing around and bullshit. You're not building yourself up in YAHAWASHI, being firmly rooted in YAHAWASHI. When the storms come, the tribulation comes, when the flood comes, you're gonna be swept away with it, man. This is why we go as hard as we go through the spirit of power. YAHAWASHI don't want you all these things, man. Because it's not a fucking game. We're not here for clout and to be trying to be cute. We're here to get the message out, get the job done, so the Most High can get us the fuck up out of the way. You see?
I got a step. I'll give you done because with what you said.
I had two more.
The flood. This is Matthew 24, verse 38. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying, and giving in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came. See, and we're prophets, so we see it. We noticing. We're the watchmen, so we're seeing these things before people are realizing the reality. It says, "So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Then shall two be in the field, and the one shall be taken and the other left. Two women shall be grinding at the mill, the one shall be taken and the other left. Watch therefore, for ye know not what hour your Lord doth come."
And how do you watch, man? By keeping up what's going on in the times we're living in, man. Watching what's going on between Russia and America, man. Watching, hey, going out into the cities, man, getting a pulse of what the fuck is going on. Look, man, it's like we in real life Grand Theft Auto. When you play Grand Theft Auto and you just walking through the city, you can hear people's conversation in the games, man. The same shit happen when you walk through these cities. Walk through the city, you just don't have no headphones and just listen to people's conversation. You can take a pulse of how people are feeling, man. People are scared, bro.
No.
They out here at these bars.
And that's what it's saying.
They let everything come out.
And that's what it's saying. They're at their regular job. They're doing their job. They're not paying attention, and then death is going to come upon them, not expecting it. Yep. And that's what's going to happen. They're trying to actually cover the truth, right? They're trying to blot out the truth, not aware that it's going to come upon them suddenly. And we've been telling them. We've been telling them. And as we've been telling them, the beginning of sorrows have been beginning. There's empty shelves. There's shortages. There's rumors of war. There's weather that is stopping traffic. There's all kinds of events. When you look it up, Google it. The beginning of a famine, all these things that are occurring today is what leads to famine. Which the word famine goes into starvation and malnutrition when people are dying of this stuff, right? But we're in the beginning of this. That's why we're the prophets. We're telling you because we're the watchmen, and by the power of YAHAWASHI, we see what's coming because it's already here. The beginning of it. Just like hearing someone's footsteps coming around the corner, we don't have to see them to see it, to know they're coming. We can hear it, and like the brother said, you can hear these conversations of these people and know that they're in trouble.
I'm talking about people, they talking about this, the mandates and all that, man. When you go out here and just listen to them talk or even have a conversation with them, you can take a pulse of how people is feeling, man. You see? Mm-hmm. You can ask, and that's why we have to, that goes into what? Being circumspect. Yeah. Sitting around and seeing what the fuck is going on. Just go to a restaurant, man. Just sit down and don't have no headphones and just listen to the people that's around you, man. Just eavesdrop on their conversation and shit they saying. You can glean information and take a temperature of what is how these people is feeling, man.
Right. And you know what? If they ain't fucked up financially, they're fucked up. They're fucked up from the mandatory JAB.
Yep.
I hear that all the time. I'll be at work and I'm just listening to people's conversation. Oh man, I'm all fucked up, you know?
Yep. So yeah.
Or this person died, or that person's about to die, you know? Or they buried that guy.
Yep.
And there's a lot of people that's not falling for Esau's tactics anymore too. So they gonna get mad at Esau, you know, and go against the government.
Yeah.
I was at work and this dude said, young Jake, he said, man, I ain't taking no more jabs. Yeah. That just shows you, man, people are waking up to Esau's bullshit, man.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, went down that road. I mean,
and you gotta even remember when Job, bro, when that destruction came upon Job, when Satan was allowed to touch Job and his family, it came one day, 1 hour when it was unexpected. Remember, the family was eating out of nowhere. These men just raised up against them with swords and slaughtered all the men that were helping him.
And the thing, it was back to back to back. It was like boom, boom, boom. Like it wasn't like no year. One thing happened a year later. No, it was like I think it was like in 1 day.
Yeah, in 1 day, in 1 hour. Because the servant came and told him, hey, the Sabaeans just took all your animals. And as he was telling him, it said the next servant came. Hey, they just slaughtered, all your men and took this. And the house fell down and killed your family. All at the same time. It hit him all in the same hour.
And that's what's gonna happen, man. When the time comes, that false of the judgment is gonna be opened up full blast, man. And the Most High's not gonna turn it off until His will be accomplished. See? Mm-hmm. So I had two more on this. 2nd Ezra 15. So 2nd Ezra 15:18 it says, "What for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid." Verse 19: "A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword," which is the gun. You see a modern day destroying instrument, "and spoil their goods." Why? Because of lack of bread and for great tribulation. These same ones that you had these barbecues with, you went to dinner parties with you, and then been on the golf course playing 18 holes every weekend for the last 10, 20 years. You went to his son's graduation, you went to your son's graduation, had birthday parties and family functions together. The time is going to come, but all that shit's going to be out the window. You see?
Oh, yeah.
They're going to be up in your house, guns drawn. Hey, Bob. Hey, where the Steakums? You see?
Yeah. Hey, the preppers, bro. These preppers, you got these prepper communities. They're gonna turn against each other.
Because guess what? They so damn.
They're thinking that they're allies.
Yep. I was about to say they so damn stupid. They say, yeah, I went to Sam's Club. Now right after I spent $1,500 in Sam's Club. I got a fucking industrial sized deep freezer down in the basement over here, and these cords and so forth and so on. You telling all your information, and that same man you telling it to is gonna be right there when the time comes to jack your shit, man. This is what's coming, bro. It's gonna be. Hey, what movie was that? They was doing that shit. The Walking Dead. That's the whole fucking show is about. You see?
Yeah. Remember that movie?
They at war with each other.
Wars of the World, when he was in the basement. I can't remember that actor's name. And he had that little girl, and he wanted that little girl. Remember? The guy from Nothing to Lose, I think it is.
Was it Waterworld?
And no, Wars of the World. War of the Worlds.
Yeah.
And when the chariots are destroying everybody, Tom Cruise and his daughter, they're in the basement. There's a guy in the basement. And at the end, he wants that little girl for himself. So he has to fight Tom Cruise, bro. Waterworld. When that movie Waterworld, they want that little girl.
Yep. And she's the prize. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what it's coming to, man. All those things was forecasting what's about to happen in the earth, especially here in America, man. And we're in the beginning of it. What you holding, Shabbat?
God, I got something because we've been talking about the famines, and we're just pointing out that the famine is going to get so bad that it's going to bring forth cannibalism, something we haven't touched too much on tonight. But this is 2 Kings, and again, nothing new under the sun, because this happened before, and this is dealing with Israelites, our people. This is 2 Kings 6:28. Actually, I'll start at 26 real quick. And as the king of Israel was passing by upon the wall, there cried a woman unto him, saying, Help me, my lord, O king. And he said, If YAHAWAH does not help thee, whence shall I help thee? Out of the barn floor, or out of the winepress? And the king said unto her, What aileth thee? And she answered, This woman said unto me, Give thy son that we may eat him today, and we will eat my son tomorrow. So we boiled my son and did eat him. And I said unto her, On the next day, give thy son that we may eat him. And she hath hid her son.
And that's a survival tactic, bro. They boil the meat so that they don't have to share it, because people will smell. When you become hungry, your smell becomes heightened. Your hearing, all these things, you could become in a survival stage. And that's why they boil it, because there's no smell given off by that boil. And see, so it shows that they were secretly together negotiating, hey, let's eat my kid today and then we'll eat yours tomorrow. You know? That's how wicked Jake is going to get, bro.
And then she pulled a fast one on
They're
her.
going to think of ways.
She hit her son, that other lady,
Yeah. But she enjoyed that other one. Just think of that, bro. She sat there and ate that baby's leg, the arm. You know? Mm-hmm. With the mom of that child. That's how wicked these Jakes are gonna get, bro. And the mom is gonna eat her own babies.
All these women with multiple children, all these children that's running about. Hey, man. Hey, we trying to tell you, it's about to get real graphic and gory out
uncontrollable.
What you got?
Uncontrollable appetites, bro.
This is Job chapter 5, verse 21. Thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue, neither shalt thou be afraid of the destruction. Shalakia. Neither shalt thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh. At destruction and famine thou shalt laugh. Neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth, for thou shalt be in league with the stones of the field, and the beasts of the field shall be at peace with thee.
Who is that talking about, man? The servants of YAHAWAH, man. Those who believe in YAHAWASHI, those who have been doing the will of the Most High. They're the only ones who are going to fall in that category. Everybody outside of that, hey, man, it's gonna be very eventful for you out here. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be shit. Survival of the fittest, man. And I can't even say it like that, because at the end of the day, the only way to survive is for the Most High to save you for the even greater destruction.
Yeah, and it almost came upon them. Yesterday and today, the economy, the stock market, has been dropping thousands of points, right? And then the plunge team will go in there and buy it up. And bro, once these stock markets, the housing markets, all these bubbles pop, everybody that they have something is going to become worthless. They have a house, they think they got money in the house bubble pops, guess what? Your house is worthless. And you're going to owe all that money on top of it. That's what's going to set all these things off, is those financial problems when you lose your job and then your house becomes worthless. You know what I'm saying? All on top of each other. Boom, 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 boom. And it's all going to come in one day, in 1 hour.
Yep. So we'll wrap it up on this one, man. This is Isaiah 65 and 12. It says, therefore will I number you to the sword, and ye shall all bow down to the slaughter. Because when I called, you did not answer. When I spake, you did not hear. But did evil before mine eyes, and did choose that when I delighted not. Talking to who? 2/3 of our people who refused the hand of the Most High. They wanted to continue on and being so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American. They refuse to believe upon the Heavenly Father. They refuse to believe in YAHAWASHI. So the time is going to come when that slaughter comes, he's going to give 2/3 over to it, man. You see? Verse 13 says, verse 13 says, therefore thus saith the Lord of power, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. You see that? All those who believe in YAHAWASHI, all those who are cleaving unto YAHAWASHI are going to be taken care of, man. All those who have been blessed to have the faith to believe in YAHAWASHI, hey, we're going to be good, Lord, when we be a part of that number, man. Everybody outside of that, you don't stand a chance. I don't give a damn how much prepping you do, how many beans you got saved up. If you're not ordained, you see, to believe in YAHAWASHI, you finished, man. Verse 14 says,
you'll die next to those beans, bro.
Yep. But therefore, and then be there, wait for a man of the Lord to come grab them up.
Take your boots right off your feet.
Yep. Like in book of Eli.
Yeah.
Isaiah 65 and 14 says, behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit. You see that? We're going to be singing for joy when this stuff is happening, man. Because and
he was, bro. When he took those boots, he was like, oh, yeah. He was dancing and everything. He was like,
strutting and shit. He like, yeah. Like, yeah.
Or, you know?
Yeah. But yeah, so the men of the Lord, those who have been looking for these days to come, we're going to be rejoicing because we know what? It's another step closer for us to get to the kingdom. We know that all we got to do is endure through the time of Jacob's trouble, and the kingdom is right there, bro. So we know that this ain't the end all be all, but everybody outside of this way of thinking, man, everybody outside of this spirit, they're going to be looking like, damn, what do we do next? What do we do? We know something else is coming. We know something better is coming. You see? And we hoping it gets worse. So verse 15 says what? And ye shall leave your name for a curse unto my chosen, for YAHAWASHI shall slay thee and call his servants by another name, which is what? The elect. The 2/3 are going to be slayed, and the elect is going to be brought into glory, man. You see? So that's what's happening. We are in the beginning of sorrows and expect for it to get worse, man. You see? Expect for it to get way worse than what you're seeing right now. You think ain't shit on the shelves? Not wait till that day when you were in the store fighting over a fucking carrot or some shit. Because that's what's coming out. So that was it. That was if y'all brothers didn't have nothing else, we can wrap it up.
I'll get one verse. It says in 2 Timothy 3, verse 1, this know also that in the last days perilous times shall come.
There it is.
And perilous means dangerous, bro.
Yep. Go ahead.
Right. Book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 5, and verse 7. Make no tarrying to turn to the Lord YAHAWASHI, and put not off from day to day, for suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance.
So that's what it is, man. If you're hearing this message, it's time to repent and believe upon YAHAWASHI, man. Be covered from all these perils that are coming. You see, don't wait.
It says
it's gonna be too late, man.
You be at work and this shit come upon you. You could be in your bed, sleeping and this shit come upon you.
Be in a whole. You took a vacation. You're in a whole different state.
Right. Your prepping is in this in a different state. You got all these beans, all this shit. And guess what? You're on vacation.
And that's why we don't put our faith in that. Now we got brothers might have some stuff put away, but guess what? If we don't get to it, we don't get to it. It's okay. We're gonna be taken care of. It'll be all right. But for a lot of you people, that's your end all be all. That's your salvation. That's your saving grace. That right there. But
like Gabu 7.
Yup.
Yeah, he's done, bro.
Our hope is in the Lord YAHAWASHI, man. You see, and that's what's gonna get us through the Spirit of Father YAHAWASHI. So with that, man, hey, repent and believe upon YAHAWASHI, man, to be found right in the sight of the Most High. That's what we're supposed to be doing as Israelites. And so with that, man, we'll give all praise. Hey, Shabbat, you have some? No?
Oh, that was from the last precept.
Oh, God. Hey, so with that, man, we'll give all praise, all honor, all glory to YAHAWAH,
qadash.
Hey, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching us this truth according to the Bible through the Spirit of Father YAHAWASHI, and a sincere peace and salutation to all you hope for let Akim out there pushing his words in our truth and sincerity, doing the work as YAHAWASHI has created us to do. And with that, we're gonna say Shalom, Wa, Abba, Abba. Repent, believe upon YAHAWASHI, man, because the time is at hand. Hey, Shalom.